Brought to you by Penguin.
You've Got This, written and read by Dr Michaela Dunbar. Introduction. Let me be honest with you. Psychology is a career I kind of fell into. For a long time, I didn't even know clinical psychology was a real job. I thought it was just something you saw on TV dramas. And it certainly wasn't the sort of thing a girl from Rowdy Lewisham would grow up thinking was an option for her. At my school, if you left without a baby, that was considered a win. But here we are. I was a low-key nerd at school. I wasn't academic, but I worked hard, kept out of trouble, and as a result, I managed to get an undergraduate degree. I chose to study psychology purely because I'd quite enjoyed it at A-level and didn't really know what else to do. I ended up falling hook, line and sinker for it. The more I learned, the more fascinated I became. And by the time I got accepted onto my doctorate, I knew there was nothing else I would rather be doing with my life. A major reason for that was wanting to help empower women to unlock their full potential. I worked across lots of different client groups during my research roles and placements, but it was with them that I always got my best results. I felt most energetic and passionate working with women. The women I was seeing were ambitious and driven, but trapped by anxiety, overthinking, imposter syndrome and a crippling fear of failure, and so lacking in confidence that they were probably giving only 55% of themselves. We know that women are already at structural and systemic disadvantages as soon as they step into the workplace. And here was a whole group of people whose talents were being stifled even further by their own difficult emotions and intrusive thoughts. They were successful in their fields and working on huge projects with global brands. I could clearly see how brilliant and bright they were. I just needed them to join the dots and believe it themselves. As someone who had spent her whole life wrestling with anxiety and doubt, I knew how they were feeling. I am unapologetically myself today. But it took time to get to this point. I am a wounded healer who is not above struggle, and I'm going to share with you more about my journey throughout this book. Before we go any further, you should know that my style of therapy is different to a lot of the prescriptive psychology out there. I like to cut through the bullshit, and I'm not a fan of jargon. I don't have a therapy voice, all softly spoken and head tilty. My sessions are a mix of fun and serious. We can joke, not everything has to be heavy. Sure, I use the trusted and established models, but I also need to connect with people, validate them and show empathy. And leaving the NHS to set up my own private practice has given me more freedom to do things my way. In this book, we're going to talk about stuff that is hard, but I'm going to give it a lighter flavour. This is an easy introduction to sorting out your mental well-being, and I hope we can also chip away at some of the stigma that still exists around seeking therapy or admitting we need help. For some reason, even now, there's shame in saying, "I'm not okay, I feel shit," or "I cried for an hour last night and woke up feeling worse." Instead, we tend to say, "Yeah, I'm good, thanks, how are you?" with a smile, regardless of the turmoil going on beneath that brave face. I used to be 100% guilty of this. You'd never catch me telling people my problems. I was the therapist after all. I finally managed to break what Dr. Russ Harris calls the conspiracy of silence, except I started by sharing my thoughts with a few 100,000 Instagram followers, and then I made my way back to my real-life bestie and told her too. The result of this was both overwhelming and underwhelming for me. On the one hand, I felt good, but when the judgment I'd feared from others, which for years had stopped me speaking up, never actually came, and I was just left feeling better, how anticlimactic for my catastrophic and melodramatic thoughts was that? Since launching Maisie Therapy in October 2019, we've created a lovely...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?